Hello! Welcome to the New Comic Minute. We are going to talk about some of the books you can pick up this week here at Superscript. Let's start with some DC titles that are available on Tuesday, June 14th. I've actually just got one DC book right here in my stack.
I got a trade. I got a graphic
novel. A little bit of a lighter week for DC. But there is Jurassic League #2 by Daniel Warren Johnson. Now I'm forgetting the other creators on this. But this is Justice League, but dinosaurs. So if you want weird, like, human dinosaur hybrid of Superman and Batman and all that.
Which you do.
Yeah, which you probably do. Jurassic League is for you. We still have issue 1 on the shelf.
Daniel Warren Johnson,
today.
amazing looking. We also have this Steve Orlando's Midnighter collection. So I'm actually really excited to read this. I have not read it previously. Midnighter is, one of the first really interesting queer superheroes in my opinion, and introduced in The Authority by Warren Ellis. And there's been Garth Ennis did a really good run on Midnighter. I've never read the Steve Orlando stuff, so I'm pretty excited to check it out.
Steve Orlando's good.
Yeah, and Midnighter's a really interesting character, and all that old Wildstorm stuff is pretty fascinating to me. So, all right, so there's plenty of other DC books, but they are books that have not had a brand new creative team in the last 2 issues, or are ongoings and are not new #1. If you're looking for Batmans and Supermans and Aquamans, what have you, we still got them. Yeah, and also that Aquaman Andromeda by Ron V. Pick that up. The book's outstanding. But anyways, on to the books that are... So those are out on Tuesday, what was the date? 14th, the day we are recording this. And then tomorrow for us, but Wednesday the 15th also for us, but you too. Here are the rest of the books that will be available at Superscript Comics and Games that we are particularly stoked to read this week.
Yeah, so we got I'll just start off with another Daniel Warren Johnson one. This is a new #1, put out by Image. It's called Do a Powerbomb. So it is a wrestling comic. This one is written and illustrated by Daniel Warren Johnson. Just seems like a perfect fit for his style of over-the-top wrestling books. Looks like it gets into some perhaps supernatural territory at the end of issue 1. So, keeping it interesting. More supernatural stuff. We've got Grimm #2. This is put out by Boom. Stephanie Phillips writing this one. This is so there's a new Grim Reaper, and she doesn't know how she died or how she kind of got to her current state, but she is the Grim Reaper trying to do the Grim Reaper stuff, and she's trying to figure out her place in that, as that role, I guess. Then we have a one-shot from Marvel, Hulkling and Wiccan. So if you followed the Empire event that happened whenever that was, last year, 2 years ago,
2020.
Yeah. It was a really fun event, and Wiccan and Hulkling were perhaps one of the most exciting parts of that. It was their relationship in that storyline, in that event. So this is a new #1 about those characters. Got this nice, I think, Pete Momoko cover.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Hulkling and Wiccan. Then the What If series continues. This one is What If Miles Morales became Thor? What would happen? Find out in this issue. We got another #1 by Aftershock, A Calculated Man. This is by Paul Tobin, who wrote Bunny Mask, which was a series I really liked, a good horror series. So in this main character here is he's a mathematician. He does the numbers for a crime family, kind of keeps their books and whatnot. And turns out he decides to become a killer of his own. I think he turns on this family that he's been working with. So yeah, if you want a story about math and murder, Calculated Man is for you.
Bunny Mask also, there's a new Bunny Mask that he's writing. The issue 2 came out this week. I didn't grab it because we talk about Bunny Mask a lot. But
nice.
But yeah,
follow-up series
worth
of that.
checking out.
Yeah. Then I got some different trades and whatnot. Let's start with a manga here. Sakamoto Days. This is on volume 2. This series is really fun. So it is a former like high profile assassin, legendary assassin, is retired. He's got a wife and kids now, and he's pulled back into work for one more job, but he's kind of out of shape, been out of the game for a while. He's sitting on this roller coaster here with a churro, but he's back. Sakamoto days. Then we've got House of Slaughter. This is the first trade, so if you are a fan of James Tynion, if you are a fan of Something is Killing the Children, or a horror fan in general, or just a fan of good comics, I would highly recommend House of Slaughter, Volume 1. Then, Chicken Devil, out in trade. I really liked this series. Man, this is a guy who runs a hot fried chicken joint, and he gets mixed up with some gangsters and some organized crime, and bad things ensue, and he has to go out for revenge. But this was a really good one. I was surprised by this. The art in it's excellent. Hayden Sherman, I believe, on the art. So yeah, Chicken Devil, very good action series there. Then we got the Bone Orchard Mythos. This is this is the new series from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, the team behind Gideon Falls.
And surely this is a trade collecting all of it, right?
So this is a series that is just coming to hardcover trade, not coming out in issues. So it is
It is a series of hardcovers.
Right. So this is number 1 in hardcover. So sort of how they've been putting out the Reckless series, direct to collected format.
This looks awesome.
Looks great. So yeah, if you're a fan of Jeff Lemire, as you should be, fan of the store, friend of the store, printed in Canada, weirdly, on this little thing.
Where all Jeff Lemire
Jeff Lemire is from. So yeah, Bone Orchard Mythos, Volume 1 here is called The Passageway. So looking forward to that. And then finally, we have the cartoon Introduction to Climate Change. So if you're looking for something a bit educational, perhaps, got the Introduction to Climate Change, because that's a thing that you got to know about and be aware of.
In cartoon
form. Yeah.
All right. Well, the impossible segue.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have more of that to come. So, Seven Sons, Part 1. This looks really spooky, but this is Jay Lee's return to indie comics. He hasn't done one in a very long time, and that is very exciting to me because nobody draws quite like Jay Lee. Many people try, but yeah, this looks real spooky, real weird, dystopian, and I'm just really stoked for it. I haven't read like a new Jay Lee book in a very, very long time. Written by Robert Wyndham and Kelvin Mao, who I'm not super familiar with, but yeah, very, very excited to check this out. X-Men Red, Mars is getting weird for Magneto, as you can see by the cover. But yeah, the X-Men stuff continues to be great. Y'all know how we feel about Al Ewing. He's doing some really incredible things with the cast he's been given, and I'm really I think X-Men is in like a really great place, and it's still, we're only on issue 3 of X-Men Red, so if you're looking to jump in, now is still very much the time to get on some of the exciting X-Men books. X-Men Red, I screwed up the name, Infinite? Is that not Infinite? What's the X-Men, the Kieran Gillen one? X-Men by Kieran Gillen, we're going to call it for now because I'm having a moment, and I'm not going to turn around and look at the shelf behind me because we only have a minute to do this. And then also the Legion of X has been really, really good. But yeah, X-Men Red definitely on my list of recommendations. Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. This is an anthology series with different writers taking on Moon Knight. Last time around we had Hickman, which was pretty outstanding. This time we get Ben Percy. So yeah, very, very stoked on these. These have been really good. The nice thing about them being anthologies is you can start wherever. They're self-contained stories. New Captain America book. We're back. We had that amazing run by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and then we also had the United States of Captain America. And now we've got Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing writing this brand new Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. I am really excited for this. We need a new Cap book, Art's really good in this too. Who's
Is it?
in that?
Is this coinciding with the other
Captain
one? Do you
America's?
know?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
yeah. The other, I forget that name too. But
Two
Shield
Captain
or something.
Americas. Yeah. Well, then that one involves Sam, I think,
Yeah.
more heavily. This one is, from the looks of it, I haven't read it yet, but a lot of Steve and a lot of Bucky. Art's outstanding too. Carmen Carnero? I'm not familiar with the penciler, but this looks really good. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus introducing Loki 2099, which I assume would just still be Loki, but we'll see what's new there. But yeah, this is Steve Orlando also.
Hey.
You might remember him from that Midnighter trade that I mentioned earlier. Steve Orlando, we love, and Spider-Man 2099 was one of those things that everybody thought was terrible and then realized they loved later on. Then this is one we're taking a shot on from Blood Moon Comics called Endangered. I'm really interested in it because it reminds me of an Adrian Tarnowski novel premise called Children of Time. But yeah, the case seems to be we have a planet somehow where we have humans, but then we have super evolved spiders. So what if civilization evolves from insects and not primates, and then they are thrown into interaction with humans? Great looking book. Very low sci-fi sort of stuff. And
Cool.
yeah,
It's got spiders.
yeah, and
Sounds
but
fun.
like spiders who have civilizations and stuff. Maybe. Bill and Ted Roll the Dice. The history of Bill and Ted comics is like one of those things where people are like, oh, it's a Bill and Ted comic, and then you realize that most of them have been really good. Also, many of them have been written by Evan Dorkin, which may have had something to do with that. This is from a creative team I'm not super familiar with, but the art is really great. But it definitely involves Bill and Ted dressed as wizards and in hell and in some sort of Arthurian legend. I'm sure Bill and Ted Roll the Dice will be exactly what you think it will be by looking at this, and I'll read it and let you know what I think of it. And then we've got we're almost at a minute here, so we gotta slam through some of these. So Radical, My Year with the Socialist Senator. This is really cool. I've read this already, so worth checking out. But Sophia Warren, who does the book, follows first-year state senator Julia Salazar, who got a lot of ink for being a radical, but is actually probably pretty, sensible, and a lot of her, positions have been, borne out as being pretty sensible and helpful. These are based on candid conversations with the journalist, but in a comic form. So also educational, and not quite as terrifying as cartoon climate change. But this is good. You should read this if you like memoir or like journalistic comics. This is definitely for you. Even if you are, especially if you are not familiar with who it's documenting. Impossible Pivot again. The Best of TMNT from IDW. This collects all of those best of books. This is some really great stuff if you like the Ninja Turtles. And then finally, so anybody who took a bunch of lit classes in college will recognize the layout of this cover of this is the Penguin Classics cover. So if you ever had to read early American Gothic fiction or Virginia Woolf, or chose
like
to,
that.
they look like this because Penguin Classics does a really good job of preserving classic works of literature in an affordable form that college students can buy, or people like me who buy used books from college students sometimes. But they are now preserving classic comics, which I think is really, really cool that they are doing that. Penguin now distributes Marvel, as some of you may know, and that they are teaming up with Marvel DVDs is really awesome. So these will be in print in perpetuity, these classic versions, but they are very limited, this week only, I think. Really fancy hardcovers with gilded page versions of these. So we have a Essential Captain America, Jack Kirby, Joe Simon, Stan Lee, Jim Steranko, and John Romita Sr. Collection of Captain America stuff. There's a ton of good stuff in here. We have Black Panther, Don McGregor, Rich Buckler, Billy Graham, Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby stuff in here. Some truly classic things there. And then the one I'm really excited about is the Stan Lee and Steve Ditko Spider-Man stuff. It's been a really long time since I've read this. Having a nice way to read it again. and really affordable. Even these hardcover versions are only like $50, and it's a ton of comic. And this is going to look great on your shelf. And also, you know, they're not going to be in the hardcover versions are not going to be in print for a long time. But if you got like a young reader and you want to expose them to, you know, some of early Marvel stuff, some classic Marvel stuff, these are $28. That's a huge book for 20. I mean, this is like, there are omnibuses that are less pages than this, and they're like, the quality is great. Like they are, I mean, it's not like they didn't cheap out on the paper or anything like that. It is really cool. Comics preservation is hard because of the whole like collectible natures of comics and stuff, and keeping things like this in print at an affordable price point so people can read them and not just, you know, slab them is important. And I think this is probably one of the best ways to get a cross section of some really important early comics. And that, we're coming up on a minute here. We got a lot going on at the shop, so stop in sometime soon and say hey. Let us know what you are excited about reading this week in the comments, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or any of the other places where we throw this stuff up. Bunch of big things coming up this summer. Free RPG days on the horizon. We got a bunch of things. So anyways, check out the website, superscriptohio.com, for more on any of those events, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you then.